All right, everybody. Happy Friday. GIF, all the 9-to-5ers out there. It's 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here. I don't know what time it is, wherever it is you might be watching this, or eventually watching this. But, how does he say? Good morning. And in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Anyway, so today we're going to do something a little different. Not very different, but a little different. We're going to focus, now we might shift later on depending on how much time it covers, but we're going to focus on, primarily in the beginning anyway, the MX-5 class. It's popular amongst a lot of people, not nearly as popular as GT3 and hypercars, because those are, you know, when it comes to the sim racing space, they are taking over the world. But I want to jump into some MX-5 racing, and Project Motor Racing, iRacing, and RaceRoom are games that come to mind when I think of MX-5. I know the original AC has it. I'm not sure if it has it within the base game or with mods, but I will admit I haven't spent any real time in the original AC, so maybe eventually I will do that. But for the sake of today's stream, we're going to be focusing on the three that are listed in the thumbnail, which is PMR, iRacing, and RaceRoom. I've driven all three of them, although I haven't driven PMR and iRacing's MX-5s in a while. I did recently drive I did recently drive RaceRooms and really liked it. So that made me go, you know what, maybe I'll revisit the other two and see how they feel. I know iRacing's been slowly tweaking their tire model, which they've been doing that for 18 years now, so that's never going to change. They're going to be tweaking their tire model from here until the dawn of time. That's normal. Chode, what's going on? So let's just jump into PMR first. Get that one going and possibly out of the way. depending on how it feels. Oh, okay. PMR. Yeah, buddy. Game that's pissed off more people than I can count. All right, so let's get over to MX-5. A lot of liveries. Go with this guy. Looks good. Good morning, Fway. You getting on tonight or what? Yeah, so it depends on when you... I've had a lot of 1v1s on RaceRoom, on Ranked. At late nights for the US guys, especially East Coast, that's a rough time for us when it comes to ranked play in RaceRoom. Because it's a heavily overseas popular game. And it is popular in the States as well, just not as popular. But you got to get on it during the daytime. Daytime, it's filled. So I think we're going to do Monza, despite me being exhausted by Monza. I have no idea how to set the AI in this game, so we're just going to max it out. That doesn't need to be identical vehicle. Same class, though, yes. $19 20 car grid. Don't want one lap. Do a 5-lapper. Firm. Gonna try and be on. That doesn't sound like commitment, sir. All right. This is set. Want to check. Firm. Although I don't think the assists in this do a whole lot of anything. But for the sake of making sure we're running this authentically as possible, because when you really want to test the games, although I will say it's worthwhile to, when you're doing comparisons, to test with no assists and with assists, because some sims hold your hand a lot more than others. iRacing's assists, well, like most things in iRacing, barely function. How you liking RaceRoom so far, Foy, though? I can't get away from it. I think it's there's just so much variety and so much quality that it's hard for me to get away from. To be honest with you. Yep. Just have hard tires. We're gonna run it in a default setup. All right, here we go. Project Motor Racing MX-5. 5-lapper at Monza. Oh, off to a great start. Okay, all right. Well, that's a fantastic start so far. You're very visible to the AI in this game. Let's see if I can run down the AI at all on this at 100%. Of the 3 sims we're testing today, Project Motor Racing's is definitely the least polished AI. Doesn't seem like we're doing anything with the AI. Alright, so let's restart this. And let's lower the AI by a little bit. I want to be able to catch them. Not necessarily run a train on them. But I want to be able to catch them. Let's go to 75% and see if we can work with that. I have no real experience with the AI and the MX-5s. So we're kind of learning as we go here. I like it a lot. It's fun. I think it's fun. Fun to drive, but I'm a late night sim racer, so it's a bit of a bummer if I wanted ranked races at least. Yeah. It depends on how late you go, though. I mean, I've pretty consistently been able to get races. There's just not a lot of people. All right, here we go. EMR, MX-5. The AI is currently at 75%. A little bit of bumper cars. Contact physics in this game are, they need some work for sure. I don't feel like it's a car hitting a car. It's bumper car physics with some form of arcade fight game audio. Overall, though, driving is fairly simple, though, as this car should be. I don't know if anybody's ever driven an MX-5 in real life. It doesn't even need to be one that's like modded like this, just a production model. They're some of the coolest cars because they handle fantastic and they don't make enough power to sort of make them hard to drive. The chassis is far superior to its power output. So you essentially take an MX-5, do a couple of little bolt-ons to it, you know, intake exhaust, some tuning, put some real tires on it, maybe some shocks and springs, or switch up to coilovers. And then I assume these cars, considering they have real cages in them and not even just like a 6-point, whoop. Oh, Jesus, there's the AI just taking me out, because that's what the AI does in this game. All right, we're just cutting the track. I don't even care. Give me my penalty. Or don't give me anything. That's fine, too. But that being said, though, I would imagine these cars handle like they're on rails, so they are very hard to lose control of. Because they don't make any power. Especially the older ones. These cars are essentially go-karts in real life. But the reason I bring up, if anybody's ever driven one in real life, they would understand, like, this is a very attainable car. So it's very easy for especially sim racers who had a lot of real-world driving experience, because it happens at all ages. Sim racing, that is. This is a car that you could honestly get into in real life and experience what it's like to drive and the ability to throw them around and not lose control of them. And then get in a sim. Oh, I overshot that. And be able to say whether this car drives correctly or not. Hypercars, GT3 cars, Group C cars. The average person never has and never will drive anything like that. So they can't say what that car is supposed to feel like. All they can do is compare it to their favorite sim that they've got the most time into, which is usually iRacing. I find those people are located. iRacers tend to pass the most judgment about what a car should and should not drive like. All with the same experience as every other person driving every other sim. Zero. Now, I'm not saying everybody's like that, but a majority of sim racers have never driven any of the cars that they're driving in the sims. Now, they can absolutely say what kind of car they like driving better, physics-wise, all that, but without any real-world, experience, can't really say what that car drives like in real life. Oh, that's where the MX-5... Oh, I missed that again. I forgot I also changed the brake pressure on my Simagic pedals. So they, because I'm a heavy braker. So I softened up the brake input a little bit. So I have to remind myself that now I have to brake like I used to brake physically, because now it's software adjusted, so to mitigate my heavy braking. But anyway, back to the MX-5. The MX-5 is a very cheap, attainable, real-life car that everybody who sim races has the potential to drive if they wanted to. Alright, so I keep going into second gear in this car. I just got to stay in third. Just a force of habit. I'm a big engine braker. A lot of cars need engine braking, whereas this thing doesn't make enough power to get to a mile an hour to... Why? Thank you, AI. Just doing what AI does in this game. I also have to remind myself that the shift indicator in this is just 2 red dots. Alright, so we got 2 laps left. Let's see how this goes. Probably second gear through this chicane. Probably should be in first gear right there. Get me some G Fuel because it's an MX-5 and I can drink and drive. Now I brake too much. And then I let out go brake too soon. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that, buddy. The thing about the AI hitting you in this is they don't just hit you. They hit you. Like, I fully understand, like, you know, the AI being programmed to, like, bump and nudge every once in a while, you know. Racing, after all. It happens. But they hit you like they just don't see you. Now, the AI is a lot better than day one. I'll give them the credit there. They really brought the AI back from impossibleness from day one release, but without more patches, I mean, it feels like a sinking ship. But I have to come at this from the perspective of console racers as well. If you're a PC player, it's very easy to talk about PMR negatively and be like, what's the point? But console players don't have, you know, the AC1, or like they do have AC1, so that's a lie. They don't have LMU yet. They don't have RaceRoom. They don't have AMS2. They don't have iRacing. All of the sims that are currently superior to this, they don't really have access to. They do have ACC, but ACC is a very fixed narrative. GT3 cars, and that's it. Again, same spot. They just ram into you. And then I spin out. Trying to avoid the AI. I knew it. I knew it. I was just about to say, I'm trying to drive through this calmly to avoid the AI. Overall, though, ignoring the AI, the car drives, in my opinion, comparable to a real-life MX-5. Although I don't know if I would have spun out in that chicane, simply because this car doesn't make the power to sort of load up the tires like that and break traction. But it also depends, too, on what this tire technically is on this car. We don't really know. We just know it's a hard tire. That's what it's called, a hard tire. Is it a hard slick? Is it a hard winter tire? Is it a hard all-season tire? We don't know. We can make the assumption, though, that considering it's got a 12-point cage in it, that it's probably on a hard slick. So in the case of going into my 5th lap, probably should get a good amount of grip on a hard slick with a car that doesn't make any power. I shouldn't spin, ever. This car should never spin tire. This is the type of car where the setup in real life, you would have to literally sidestep the clutch off the rev limiter to get the tires to spin. This car will not spin tire because it has so much grip because it's overbuilt for its power. Anyway, not a bad start, though. So now we're going to jump over immediately to iRacing. We're going to be rotating games. We're not just going to be sticking to one game at a time and doing all these different kinds of races. We're going to do one race, duplicate that one race in the next sim, then in the next sim, and then rotate back, rinse and repeat. In the meantime, though, I'll catch some of the chat here, since I'm trying to do more paying attention. When I'm in the race, trying to focus less on chat and more on the race. Not that I'm trying to leave anybody hanging out to dry, but at the same time, if I want to actually improve my racing, I need to improve my focus. I need to learn how to multitask better. Let me read some comments here. Let's see. It is the most single-player focused. Yep. Need to relax in the downshifts. Yep. I don't know if I can fit an MX-5. You absolutely could. They're actually much roomier than you think. I like the way the Mazda drives in iRacing compared to PMR. Haven't tried RaceRoom. What's going on, Hammer? Yeah, the term being hard is typically just associated with slick, which is correct. I agree. But, you know, the fact that it spun in first gear in the chicane, like it spun out, that just shouldn't happen, especially being on my 5th lap. But, all right, so let's see. Let's just run through this quick. We're making this simple as possible. MX-5. Monza. Yup. Time of day. Noon. Perfect driving conditions. Clear. No moisture. I don't know where humidity affects traction in this game. I haven't experimented with that at all. I would imagine 0% humidity. Obviously going to be less moisture. It's drier. So let's just go 0% humidity for the sake of, I would imagine, less moisture. But if it's weird that like track moisture and humidity are separate indicators, because technically humidity 0%, the cars will make a little more power. Less water in the air. I'm getting super technical though. I don't know how intuitive iRacing is with things like that. Let's see. Racing discipline, sports car, blah, blah, blah. We're disabling the damage. Just doing this for the sake of comparing physics and the AI and stuff. Now, we are running the AI on adaptive. So what I'm expecting to happen with the AI in this is quite simply, they drive away from me in the first lap, and then I drive around them, most of them in the second lap. We'll see, though. Yes, less aero as well. Atmosphere is harder to go through. Thinking about the atmosphere is actually really cool in the terms of like acceleration. Because if the atmosphere didn't happen, your vehicle would accelerate in first gear or in 6th gear like it does in first gear. Like it would just accelerate until it tops out, and that's it. It would not gradually get harder to accelerate because there's no atmosphere. You also obviously couldn't make any literal power because there's no oxygen. But I'm talking in the basis of just the aero side of things. Put my hands in a rally game and we feel some grip. Sometimes in PMR, it's just incredible. The lack of traction or grip, I don't know. I mean, in terms of referencing PMR and lack of grip and traction, we're getting into lack of grip and traction simulator right now. I think every sim does grip wrong, especially past the limit. Although I think iRacing's grip is probably the most accurate when it comes to... Now, that's my opinion, based off of what I've experienced in real life versus in these sims. You know, it's funny because I didn't get into sim racing till late into my 30s, and I've done most of my racing that I'm going to do in my life in the past. So getting into these sims where a lot of people who have never raced before start here, they're getting... Yeah, it's a simulator, but as far as accuracy is concerned, a lot of the accuracy feels like forced difficulty for the sake of teaching you. Since you can't physically feel the limit in your body, you have to feel it through controls and, well, how do we make you not go past the limit? Make it so you have no control past the limit. No, I mean, I would say PMR is substantially easier than iRacing. You just have to sort of get used to the whole slidey physics thing. It's a lot like AMS2. AMS2 has overall better grip than iRacing, but iRacing doesn't sway at all. So it gives you the sensation that you have more grip, but you actually have less grip. It really feels like a lot of the sliding in AMS2 and PMR is baked in animation and not actual loss of grip. But anyway, let's run this one here and let's compare. All right, so this is iRacing for those of you tuning in. I will say iRacing has the best sounding MX-5.
Green, green, green.
Again, no assists, just raw MX-5. Now I have a shift light, how nice.
You're in the middle, 3 wide. Right side, 2 wide. Okay, on the left.
Yeah, PMR's windshield clarity is really rough. Because even though this game has far less or far inferior graphics at its core, the clarity is so much better, which gives you the sensation that the graphics are better. They're not. It's just, you're like looking through a dirty filter versus a clean lens. Also, it does feel like we're locking up the front tires a little bit, even though this car does have ABS. I don't know if that's just the poor iRacing tire model, because I will say the assists in this game, like traction control and stuff, don't actually work because the tires are so focused on being hard to get traction that TC can't save you, like at all. Same with ABS. The tires just... It's like if you had a real race car that was relatively quick and you put it on really, really shitty tires and had really good ABS and really good suspension, the tires are still your #1 point. They're where the chassis meets the ground. So it doesn't matter how good your electronics are. If the tires are bad, the electronics won't work. I feel like I could potentially love iRacing if they just got rid of this, like, the bullshit tire stuff. Like, this car's not going to understeer like this. I'm not going fast enough. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but what are the tires that are on this car in iRacing? Is it on hard slicks? Or is this thing considered to be on, like, an all-season tire? I'd imagine it's built to be the same car, but I don't actually know offhand. One thing I will say, the positive that is easier in iRacing over PMR is the AI being so much better. I can focus less on what the AI is going to do and not worry about them and focus more on my driving.
Still there, hold your line. Clear.
Whereas in PMR, if I'm racing against the AI, I kind of have to drive in defense the whole time because I know they're going to hit me, regardless of the line that I take. I will say this too. For a single race, I think the adaptive AI is better in iRacing. But for long-term AI racing, I think it's better in RaceRoom. Because RaceRoom adapts over the course of several races, not just one race. So basically what iRacing tends to do is, see what's happening right now? Is the AI drives away from you in lap 1, and then lap 2, and lap 3, you drive around most of them. And then they'll start picking up speed again. Alright, let's go inside here, which is always like a cardinal sin for this chicane, but let's see how they just handle me being on the inside. Look at that, 0 contact. I stuck to my line, even if it was a shitty line, and they just didn't smash me off the road. They drove around me. That's what the AI should do. Looking at you, PMR. Although I will say, I like radar more than a spotter. That's just preference. I know a lot of people are the opposite. Spotter's obviously more realistic. But these are still games to me. Just like a flight simulator's not really flying. Yep, screwed that up. Terrible. Oh boy, oh boy, boom! Alright, fix my car now. Thank you. Oh, iRacing tires. There's a reason I'm saving RaceRoom for last, by the way, Fway.
Stay on the right. Clear on the left. Left side. Stay on the right. Clear.
Oh! I just realized I set this for 3 laps, but you get kind of the idea. I don't really need to go 5 laps in this to, you know, show off anymore. Right now the AI is too slow. Way too slow.
Left side. Keep to the right. Clear. There's the flag. It's
I will say iRacing does have really good crash physics. Like, really good crash physics. Get the idea. Alright, so. Now that we got that done. There I am. Hold on, let's go back. I had a really good crasher the other day when I was testing out the same thing here. Where was it? That was alright. That was a lamer crash by comparison. I will say I like the summaries at the end of races. Like this making fun of me here. Takes on Autodromo National... I'm not even going to say it. Takes on Monza. Monza wins. That's funny. Okay, so that's iRacing. Now let's jump to RaceRoom. I know my line. I'm not focusing on my racing lines or anything like that. I'm not focusing on being the best driver because I'm not and I never will be. I'm simply focusing on the driving experience of all three. I'm not trying to be the best sim racer because truthfully, I don't care. I truly don't care. This is 100% meant to be fun for me and fun only. The second I start tryharding, the fun starts to go away. So for me, I'm just driving around. This car's a lot of fun. Donda. All right, let's get in the MX-5. Give him one of my least favorite tracks in all of the world, Monza. Boring. It's a boring track. So popular, though. Am I blind here? I know, there it is. So, clear, adaptive AI. Well, I'm technically 21 cars. So. Going on S-Line, Dan. Sorry for bumping the mic. Side effects of the headset mic. All right. Real quick, use the bathroom, then we'll jump into this race. Fway, if you're, I recommend watching this. I think this is the best one. All right. So my early assessment, since I did play a little bit of the MX-5s already in this, most recently I should say, is the only negative is the sound. The sound is the least good of the three MX-5s. It seems like it's very muted and underwater. But it drives a lot like the iRacing MX-5, but it has grip. So to me, it simulates the most realistic version of this car because, well, the real version of this car literally is almost impossible to crash. You have to be awful at driving to crash this car. I have seen some reckless Miata driving in my day where people are trying to lose control of their car Dukes of Hazzard style on the shittiest tires, and they can't. All right. Here we go. RaceRoom. Oh, hold on. Back out. I didn't set it the laps. I said it's only one lap. 5-lapper. Almost had it. There we go. All right, here we go. RaceRoom, MX-5. As I said, the audio is the worst. For some reason, it's like got a very underwater sound. Oh, oh. AI pile up. So that is a notorious problem, I will say, with RaceRoom. Turn 1, just about every race with the AI, they all do stupid shit. They quickly clean up their act, though, and they are good to race with. But for some reason, turn 1, they just don't know what to do. But this driving right now feels good. Fair amount of body roll, but doesn't lose grip. Exactly what the car does in real life. Oh, pitted by the AI. Compliment to iRacing. Got to give credit where it's due. Their adaptive AI, or their AI in general, is probably the most refined. I really do believe that if they could just do a practical tire model that isn't designed to just punish you, iRacing would have just the best driving. But they refuse to want to do that. So my voice isn't going to change that. I'm just along for the ride. Definitely the best visuals of the three by a landslide. Yeah, I decided to brake late, see if I could pull it off. I did, it just wasn't fast. But the point is the tires have grip, so I was still able to brake and stop before the chicane. Wasn't ideal, but I didn't crash. If that was iRacing, I would have driven straight through the chicane. Would have been no way to save that. Missed that completely. That's fine. We're not here to demonstrate my driving skills. Or lack thereof. Case in point. But look, I was able to brake and stop and get back on the road before driving into the weeds. Because the tires have grip. I'm absolutely doing the... I will say... What I'm showing you the best of here is my inability to switch sims and adapt. I will have to race in RaceRoom, in iRacing, in PMR by themselves for a while to get used to their driving. Younger, more talented guys can just jump from one to the other and their brain just flips a switch and they know how to drive the cars again. I am not that guy. I'm in dead last place. Go me. But RaceRoom's AI, their adapting AI anyway, it'll take several laps and or races for them to start slowing down to my speed. Yep, that's on me. Braked late. Alright, so we got 2 laps left. Let's see if we can pull any positions in and clean up my driving. AI's put up a fight. The problem is, though, with saying that it's the tires with iRacing in terms of like, oh, I'll have better tires on in this versus the ones in iRacing. The best tires in iRacing still don't have grip. If I got in all the, in fact, I could do that, although I wouldn't do it with PMR. I wouldn't put PMR in the LMDH category. I would substitute it in with AMS2. Maybe I'll do that one next stream. I'll compare iRacing, RaceRoom, and AMS2, and I'll do the LMDH cars. But iRacing's grip is even worse when you use those cars. Like the gap. This one has the best grip, then goes to AMS2, and then iRacing. And iRacing is like, I don't even know what's going on there. And they have their new tires on those cars, too. Yeah, I will say the GR86 is the best handling car in iRacing. Like, the best handling car. I will say, I think the contact physics of this game are top tier. Like, crashing in this game feels accurate. Like, if that was PMR, I would have got punted off the road and he would have kept going just fine. But right there, I hit him in the rear just a little bit to lift his rear tires off the ground. To get him to oversteer a bit. And then I overtake. What's going on here? No reason to serve my penalty now. Anyway, from a pure driving experience, ruling out AI, ruling out anything else, just driving the cars, RaceRooms is the best to me, by like a landslide. iRacing's could be the best if the tires had grip. But luckily the car doesn't have any power to actually offset the shitty tires. The GR86, on the other hand, is what the MX-5 should be in iRacing. It's almost like instead of making the MX-5 have good tires, they just added a different car to simulate what it should do. Yeah, that tire model that was added to the 86 that I've heard about being a new model. I haven't played iRacing long enough, so for me the 86 has been phenomenal from the start. But I want to show a few examples quick of iRacing's tires. The GR86 is phenomenal in iRacing. It's like my fit. Honestly, if I were to really care about ranked racing, that would be the only car I'd use. It's just a good car. So, real quick, let's do some... this is my favorite LMDH. I mean, I think the Cadillac's, from a sound standpoint, is a far better car, but I like the BMW's driving better. I loaded Assetto Corsa Evo for the first time since their last update. The MX-5 Cup car was surprisingly fun, and the street version was boring. I think Evo will be a good game when it's in full release, but for now it just doesn't offer me any replayability. I test out every update, see the progress, and then I kind of just move on. All right, so we're going to drive this car quick in the middle of our MX-5 testing. Just because I want you guys to think about, or what you guys think about. This has got the new tire model, by the way. Their latest effort is on this car. So, I want you to think about that. Let me also switch my wheels for authenticity here. All right, so we're going to go gentle the whole first lap. Even though we're in ideal conditions again. We're going to try and stay around 3/4 throttle. We'll push in the straights. We're going to run default. I also have ABS turned on right now. Actually, no, I don't. I think I turned it off for the MX-5. Yeah, I turned it off. Okay. That's fine. That works better anyway. Also, I gotta turn down the, on. I have the force feedback too high for this car. I turned it up. Alright. Back to TC. Right now, TC is at its default positioning. Like right there, there's no reason for that. There is zero reason for that, I'm sorry. There's not a single person who loves this game to death who will tell me the physics behind that makes sense. It doesn't, I'm sorry. Unless this track, I mean, here's what I will say. For some reason, Spa looks dirty right now. So maybe there's just a bunch of dirt all over the track, and that's why there's zero grip like that. But, like, this is their new tire model, by the way. So how many laps should I do we think I'm going to require for this thing to have peak grip? What do we think? What should be the lap count? 1, 2, 3? One lap and a half? All right. The second half of this race, I'll push. Actually, I'm going to turn TC to max as well. Just for the sake of as much assistance as possible. All right, so TC is maxed out. Captain IP Daily, thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. I can feel the front tires losing grip in that turn. That's why I'm rolling out of the throttle so aggressively, because I feel like it starts to oversteer pretty aggressively. It's just like... You gotta drive so cautiously in cars like this, and it's just like... I just don't believe that this is an honest tire model. Maybe for iRacing, but... It just... I'm not paying attention to my lines. I'm not paying attention to apexes. I'm only thinking about the tires right now. And there's not even anybody on the grid. That to me is just not a good time. Because I do feel like the physics of the car are solid. But the tires are let's see here. Let's do this. Hear what I mean? Remember, we have full TC on. Like that almost spun out right there. All right, so let's get over here. Drop it to minimum. All right. Like, look at that. Look at that. Come on, man. There's no way. No way. No way you're going to tell me that's how this tire should run in this car with this tire. I'm not full throttle, as you can see. Now I am. At about 50%, just past 50% throttle in these turns, she completely starts to lose, the ass starts to come out. And you can't hit the brakes at all because you lock the tires up. I'm sorry, that's just not how it should be. Not how it should be.
You cut that corner and got a slow down pedal.
Look at that. You can't convince me this car has this little grip. You can't. I've done too much real world racing to know that I just can't, I just don't believe this. I've never driven this car, but if this is what these cars drive like, they need to do some serious chassis work because they should not be that easy to spin. I think I can spin this car in a straight line out of second. Let's just floor it. Alright, it's got at least grip there. If I had cut it back to make that, the Eau Rouge there, I would have spun out all day. Absolutely would have spun out. Look at that. It's just insane how easy you spin. I just... There's no convincing me that this is how these cars are in real life. All free advice, but no one's home. What's that supposed to mean? I'm telling you right now, that wheel spin experience is unique to iRacing. It is way easier to drive those cars. I'm sorry, but you're just spamming advice, but you're not actually listening to what I'm saying. I've driven this car in every sim. iRacing is the only one like that. I promise you. I drive that car in LMU, and it's not like that. I can't race Spa on this. Purposely 8-inch per... Okay, whatever you say, sir. automatically. Already have better grip. Already immediately. It's just my driving, though. Oops. You slowed down too much, buddy. Go faster next time. Hey, if we gotta crash every one of them, that's what you gotta do. iRacing's got me afraid to touch my brakes. Yep. Wow, that was... Why? This is still adaptive AI. I don't know why it's so slow right now. Let's turn TC off. Curious. There we go. Finally spawn out. So TC works in this. That's good to go. Good to know. Actually, you know what? I probably should have left it on, though, to spin out. We're not. Oops! Warning! Jesus. I have to wonder what the AI adapts to. Is it time? Is it your actual performance? What is it analyzing? Jesus. These cars drive so good in this. Ah, all right. That's that. Got to second place again. Just the AI to go extremely slow and me not anticipate it. All good. I'm going to jump back over to MX-5s after I go to the bathroom. All right. Let's see. I wish, why this is... Streamlabs still doesn't operate good on its own. You really need to have the stream open up on YouTube as well. So strange. So very strange. Anyway. Alright, so let's jump back in the MX-5. Because I could... RaceRoom is like... It's just too good. Alright, let's see. Actually, no, wait. I want to go back to PMR first. We're going to do the Nordschleife now. 5. Nordschleife is the best track in the world. Can't change my mind. That's the end of that argument. All right. Get off Monza, the most overplayed track. 1 lap, because LOL at 5. All right, so summer, hot, 1 lap, 19 cars, AI at 75. Let's see how many times they punt us. This track will do a better job at stressing these cars from a chassis standpoint. I will say, PMR is the best on the launch with this car. It's the only time this car spins tire, and it's the only game that I can spin tire in on the hit. iRacing and RaceRoom, they bog, which they will spin tire if you throw the clutch like I just did. That little sideways action right there, how I recovered it though, props to PMR. There's a good chance in iRacing that would have spun me out. There's almost zero, and I mean, by almost, I mean I think there is just zero recovery from any level of grip loss. I don't think I've hit the limiter this much ever. Till I get in the MX-5 and PMR. This is actually a car I'm shocked is not an AMS2. You can get the modded one, which is a pretty radical turbo hooligan car, which is a lot of fun. But the AMS2's tire heat-up model doesn't quite work with that car, because you can't even do a single lap of the Nordschleife before your tires are done. So whoever modded that car in needs to mod the tires for that car as well. Sounds good, Fouet. We'll be doing likely more RaceRoom. I don't know if I'm going to put PMR in the docket. We'll see. We will see. They really need a patch for me to want to experiment more. But if I, worst case it'll, oh, hello. Worst case it'll just be AMS2 and RaceRoom again. Because AMS2, I mean, there's only a couple, like a handful at most of things that PMR does better than AMS2. And I don't think it's strong enough reasons to play PMR over AMS2 right now. I think Group C is better in PMR. I think Group 5, well, they don't... You can mod in Group 5 on AMS2, but I haven't tried it yet. But I know that the modded 787B isn't very good. Not by comparison to PMR's 787B, that is. But... Oh, didn't need that downshift. Need to make a pit stop? Will do. I'll take that under advisement. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Alright, see if I can, how many of these guys I can catch. What the hell was that? Ah! All right, so second place. Works for me. All right, so from 20th to 2nd, 1 lap on Nordschleife with the 75% AI. It's funny, though, because 100% is really hard, and 75% is relatively easy. So, oh, I'm the only one on PC. Jokes, people. Dad jokes. All right, so let's do that same race on iRacing. Same exact race. So far, the best aspect of iRacing is the AI of the things that we've tested today. The worst is obviously the tires. I don't care what human on the planet tries to justify the tires in iRacing. I've done enough racing in real life. I don't care. You can't convince me that doesn't matter how good or bad I am at the game. It's the point that the game, I feel like the game is lying to my face and everybody else has taken the bait and I'm sort of just like, huh? Hey, what? Who? iRacing is, I mean, it's fantastic. And let's face it, it doesn't need to change anything because it's got its own user base. And that's never going to change. The way I see people defend things that are incorrect, you don't need to change anything in your game because people will defend it even when it's wrong. Humans do that in general for all sorts of things in life. It's no different in video games. And yes, this is a video game. If that offends you, it's time to touch grass. All right, so continue. All right. What is my level of immersion in PMR compared to the other sims? I mean, immersion's a tough one because I think sense of speed, PMR does a really good job, which adds a lot of immersion by comparison to, say, iRacing. iRacing is very dull when it comes to sense of speed. I would say it... So let's talk solo driving, because the AI pulls you out of immersion. Just from a driving a car solo standpoint in PMR, audio crushes it. Force feedback crushes it, although it is very debatable because I don't know, a lot of people have had bad force feedback. I think it's got the best force feedback that I've experienced so far in its default trim. I haven't done any modded force feedbacks yet. Sense of speed, really good in PMR. Graphics, bugs, graphical anomalies. Unfortunately, if you're going to talk about immersion, those things pull you out. You know, I mean, looking at the visuals right here on this screen, there's nothing immersive about that. That looks like a PS3 level video game. That's the reality of the situation that is iRacing. iRacing just has really good racing in it, with the exception to the tires. It really, 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 really has you driving defensively to avoid tire problems. And for someone like me who doesn't play iRacing regularly, I'm jumping around constantly. I'm not really putting in real hours into every single sim. If I was only playing iRacing, I could get used to the tire model. I would learn to drive defensively enough to the point where I can start driving offensively again, knowing where the tire limits are. But as someone who just casually jumps in iRacing, it's extremely punishing because the tire model is so aggressively just egregious in the way it doesn't have grip across the entirety of the sim. The GR86 is the only car I think that fundamentally is accurate in how it or I should say, in how it has grip across the platform. GT3s are pretty good only when the tires are warm. When the tires are cold, I call bullshit. They will get better grip than that. I'm not saying they should have peak grip when they're cold. Not even close. But they should have substantially more grip than they do when the tires are cold. But anyway, go back to answer your question. There are things immersive-wise that PMR definitely does better, but it does some things that are worse. I think PMR, in a year's time, could potentially be one of the best driving experiences, provided the game gets worked on for the next year and doesn't get abandoned. I don't know what's going to happen there. But there are signs in PMR. Now, if they revert those good things, qualities backwards, then you never know. You just don't know. That's the problem. Anyway, I know I didn't no way answered your question, so for that, sorry. Like, that wouldn't happen. That, with no TC right there, I would spin the tires right there. So, this is the part that bothers me about iRacing. This car is supposedly not on slicks, even though that looks like a slick. That looks like a slick. So the defense of this car not having grip being it's not on slicks, I mean, every model here looks like slicks, but maybe it's just not rendered. Either way, whatever. Point is, the only time in real life that you could spin tires on an MX-5 is when you do what I just did. And then throw the clutch. Then it'll spin tire, and then it'll start to hook up, and then you'll never break traction ever again. In this game, you can break traction at any given point, except the one point where you can spin tires in real life in an MX-5. Again, everything about the tires in iRacing, I just don't understand it. And that's coming from a place of only done real racing, and I'm just more recently getting into the sim racing stuff. So I don't understand it. Anyway, that being said, though, there's a lot of good in iRacing, obviously. But across the board, people notoriously hate the tires. I guarantee you, even the iRacing defenders, like the cult of iRacing, if you all of a sudden gave every single car in every single tire model 100% more grip, none of them would complain about it. They would all be happy. But they'll defend it right now because that's just what people do. Your team can never do wrong when you're in a cult. Or tribe, I should say. Tribe can do no wrong, even when they're wrong. I gotta turn my force feed back up. Oh yeah, definitely gotta turn my force feed back up. I'm gonna overdrive the shit out of this car if I don't. As far as AC Evo, what about AC Evo? What's your specific question on AC Evo? N-Tunes. Oh, up. That's me. Sorry, buddy. Can't blame the AI for that contact. That was all me. One place that I still need a lot of work to do when it comes to driving with a crowd is anticipating them to be slower. I always have a habit of assuming everybody's going to be faster than me, so I drive to my limit, and sometimes that my limit is further away than the people I'm racing, in this case, the AI. Like that right there was me trying to anticipate them braking early, and they didn't. So... foliage in this game absolutely needs a modernization. The whole engine needs to be modernized. That's the problem. If this engine, being as old as it is, if they tried to make the foliage look like modern day, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, woo! That was lucky. If they tried to make the foliage in this game look modernized, this game would get like 6 FPS. Yeah, AC Evo needs a lot of work. I mean, my opinion, like, before they add more content, they need to dial in the game itself, what's there. Like, what I think, honestly, is going to be AC Evo's downfall, at least immediately, is how they are trying to pack it with content. The problem with Kunos is that they are not Rockstar. There's only a few developers out there in the entirety of the world that can pack an insane amount of content into a game on day one, and it work. Kunos struggle with ACC, which is still a contentless game. It's great now in terms of its playability and how reliable it is, but the point is it wasn't on day one. We recovered. But the open world thing has me worried about AC Evo. Because again, they're not Rockstar. If Kunos hired some developers from Rockstar, I'd have a lot more faith in the open world aspect of things. Oh, my bad. Oh, my bad, my bad, my bad. No, get out of the way! Son of a bitch. So this game uses the glue methodology that AMS uses, where cars get stuck together. Like in RaceRoom, I would have been able to like push away from him. Oh, yep. Sloppy driving combined with iRacing leads to punishment. But yeah, I think AC Evo has the potential to be the best sim or the worst sim. I don't see it being average. Should have been able to drift that. But iRacing. Should have been able to kick that out sideways. This car does not make the power. The car should have started to grip. And then... here's what would have happened in real life, in that particular scenario. When the car is sideways like that, the rear tires should start to grip, and then that car is going to snap the other direction. Because the tires are going to grip, and all of a sudden, now that I'm turning left, the tires are going to grip, and now I'm going to snap, and then I'm going to have to fight the oversteer the other way. That's what would happen in real life. And instead, this just slides out completely because there's no recovering. Now, in iRacing's defense... most sims are like that. There's just no realism inside the slide. My guess is it's intentional programming to keep people racing honest, maybe? Maybe more people if they could counter steer a slide like that? Like, that's just not a thing. That is not a thing. It's not what cars do. My guess is the only way the reason they do that, they have to, here's the thing. This game has been around for 18 years. They have to know. They have to know what people say. And they have to go, no, we want to do it our way for a reason. I refuse to believe they're that ignorant. And that they've never driven a car. See? I just don't believe what I see and feel in iRacing, that's all. Hold on, let's see if I can... Here's the thing. I've been sliding around like crazy right now. Let's see if I can spin the tires from a clutch drop. Oh, hold on. Wrong clutch programmed.
2 left to go. 2 to go.
I'm sorry, what? You can't tell me that's right. You can't. Defend this game to your grave. You cannot tell me that's what that should do. I don't understand, like, the only thing I can think of is that people have just, all the people that are the diehard defenders are either being paid, which some of the real race car drivers are, and then that they just rely on, oh, well, the real race car guy says this, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, I think we all know what would happen if you have a stick shift car and you put the car on the rev limiter and then you sidestep the clutch. It's going to spin tire. But in this it can't, which would be fine. That tells me this thing is on some very, 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 very grippy tires and it doesn't make power. Okay, that makes sense. Except for when I slide and spin out all the time on turns. And all of a sudden I have no grip. iRacing. Must have it on 5 laps, because I'm not doing 5 laps, that's for sure. Alright, so now let's go back over to RaceRoom. Do the same thing in RaceRoom. Not Quantum Brake, RaceRoom. And while RaceRoom loads, I am going to make a pit stop. All right. So, currently, folks, I'm going to go ahead and say that this is my favorite sim, RaceRoom. If you are on PC and you haven't tried RaceRoom yet, give it a shot and give it a chance. So this is actually my second time getting it. I tried it once before and didn't really give it a shot. and wrote it off. Even though there was no real reason to write it off, I just was so occupied with other sims. Then when I, on stream, spent a little time with RaceRoom, it's incredible. It really is. All right, so single player, single event, MX-5. What are you at, though? Opel. Go Nordschleife. Unlap. Well, the problem with... I don't think the MX-5 in iRacing is a joke. I think the tire model is a joke across the entire game, except the GR86. But every other car in the game needs more grip. The GR86 is the way it should be. Every other car needs more grip. The AI is the best. The adaptive AI in iRacing is in my opinion, the best. It's a toss-up for me between AMS2 and RaceRoom for the second best AI. Because I'm going to go ahead and give it to RaceRoom simply because for some reason in AMS2, the cars get stuck together. And you can't, like, if I'm on the right-hand side and I make contact with somebody on my left, I will be driving right to get off of them, and it's like I'm stuck to them. I can't break away. That's like an AMS2 thing, and I don't really know what that's about. That's not like that in this. But their AI is sloppier. Turn 1, for some reason, you're going to see real quick what they do in turn 1. Other than that, though, the AI is good in this. But iRacing's is better. The only complaint I have, well, with the exception of the egregious money spending system they have, the only issue I have with iRacing is the tire model. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. Sadly, I feel the games that have more grip, that like everybody complains that it'll have too much grip, I think are the most accurate. See now, real quick, this car didn't spin tire right there, which was my complaint in iRacing. However, this car just has grip the whole time. iRacing, it only has grip in the one time that it potentially shouldn't have grip. And then it doesn't have grip any other time. This other guy up there is doing a whole lot of sideways action. Oh! That just cost me the race. Oh well. You know, no. I'm not going out like that. We're restarting that. Screw that. Get back in this. Go right up the middle and see what happens. Only thing I don't like about this car in this game is the audio. For some reason, it just sounds underwater. Like, it really does feel like you have earplugs in under your headset. And I'm not really a fan of it. But the driving of it is fantastic. No, this is RaceRoom, and you absolutely see the car leaning. Unless you were talking about the, like, third-party physics of it, maybe? No, I mean, you can see it right there. Their body getting body roll. What do you mean by that? I'm confused. I mean, I can absolutely see the wheels moving up inside the fenders. And, like, look, that's clearly body roll. I'm not sure what you mean by that one. In fact, the Fox body in this game, 3 wheels. It has so much chassis twist that when you're actually turning left or right, it will pick up the inside front tire. Whoa! Couldn't do that in iRacing. That'd have been a spin out. But this game, with the exception of this car, has really good audio. I don't know what happened with this, but it is objectively not a good sound in this MX-5. Oh, countersteer too much. Can you get your pedals to work? I believe you have to make them separate. I can show you in a second if you want to give me a chance. Let me finish this race and then I'll jump into AMS2 and I'll show you. Although I don't have that set, so grain of salt, but on my setup, I have my wheels, my pedals plugged directly into a USB. They're plugged in independently. They are not, nothing is plugged in through my base. So my base, my shifter, my pedals, my e-brake, they're all plugged in separately to the computer. Weird. Counter steering. Clearly, this AI at Adaptive is much harder than the other ones. Alright, let me see if I can show you now on AMS how to set up the wheel. So, options, controls, and then use a control preset. You might have to try a few different ones of these. Wheel, custom, and then make sure your pedal type is separate. And then just bind everything. That's really all there is to it. I think what the closest thing is to an MX-5 they have in this. Possibly this. Yeah, Mike, I just jump back. I just showed him that. Here. I want this as separate. But I also, keep in mind, have my stuff set plugged in separately. Nothing of mine is going through the base. It's all plugged in individually. All right, so do we want to see more iRacing? Do we want to see more PMR? Or do we want to see more RaceRoom? Down for all three. I don't know what to do in PMR. because it was built as more of a single-player game, and there's not a whole lot for that. But, you know, give you guys an opportunity, see what you want to see. One for PMR. What does everybody think is going to be the state of PMR? 6 months from now, what do we think PMR, the state of PMR is going to be? Ten-minute qualifier. I haven't even tried ranked in this game. I won't even waste my time, honestly. We're not there. Oh. I can't get past the slidiness, man. So much sliding. Well, what's your favorite one you've played so far? That was a shitty corner. All right, I'll take that. Only doing one qualifier. I'm not chasing laps. So, do you like AMS2's slidiness or no? I personally don't. It's my only complaint about AMS2. But I have no experience with it on Xbox. I have it on PC and PS5, and I really only play it on PC. But I think it's the best on PC, but only if you have an NVIDIA GPU and a relatively newer GPU. Or an older, powerful one. PMR plays the most like AMS2. The slidey, you can tell the Madness engine and the Giants engine are very similar in their driving physics. Be it that programmed or that's an engine issue or system, whatever the case. You can tell at least AMS2 being on the Madness engine and Ian Bell being on this game coming from the Madness engine. You can see that they have very similar driving system. Of the three that I played, this is the worst running one when it comes to frame rate. So keep that in mind. RaceRoom is my personal favorite. AMS2 is a second. PMR has the potential to be podium. They got a lot to fix. The problem with PMR right now isn't even the game itself, it's all the problems that come with it. $2070 Super still good. I mean, it's not bad, but it's definitely you know, sim worthy. I'll say that. But it is, you know, 3 generations old, and it's a 70 series card. If it was a 2080, I would say you'd be in a better spot, but you know, games will still be playable, but you'll be turning down the graphics settings. What also matters, too, is, what resolution are you gaming at? I mean, 1080p, you should be fine. I game at 4K, so all of my experience is at 4K. So you should be fine with a 2070, but you still may have to turn down some of the graphics. What CPU do you have? Because sim racing in general is very CPU heavy because of the AI. Online isn't nearly as bad. Oh, you pushed. Pushed too much. Oh, we're breaking up like a son of a bitch right now with that guy. Damn, you're all trying hard right now. I only did one lap. Oh, 10-minute qualifiers they're rough. I get it, it's normal. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Yep, you gave up. Anybody still out there? One. Yeah, one thing that would be nice for them to add is the ability to advance the session. If everybody's pitted waiting for the timer to come down, you just advance the setting. Or advance the session, I mean. I will say this, competitively speaking, PMR is easier. So, if you jump into one of the sims that's been around for a long time on PC, you're going to get your ass kicked in ranked racing. It's going to be a while before you're able to start really competing. PMR, I think you'll be able to kind of jump into and just sort of start competing. Like this, I mean, I did one... This is a random lobby, mind you, but I did one lap and I qualified 3/10 behind someone who did a few laps, and everybody else has been doing laps the whole time. So, if this was, what do you call it? iRacing or RaceRoom or something, I would probably be in last place right now on qualifier. But PMR has a habit of making me look good. By comparison, anyway. Lap? Or no. 3 laps? Really? Okay. A short race. My kind of race right here. Send it. Oh, now I got qualified 4th, so they almost have surpassed me. Oh boy. What are we waiting for here? Not bad. Second gear it is next time. Impacts in this game are tough. All right, me and you, buddy. As they say, Hot Wheels leading the way. Pressure got to him. These cars are so slidey. You really have to spend time in each individual sim getting used to the way the cars drive, because getting out of RaceRoom coming in this, cars don't slide in RaceRoom. This, they slide. Hot Wheels must have quit. All right, final lap. The fact that on the bottom side of the mountain are going downhill anyway, I pretty much just coast and slide. I do very minimal driving. In a lot of other sims, you might actually have to apply throttle going downhill. In this one, you really kind of don't. Just do so much sliding. GG's, boys. GG's. So what? We got 3, so 2 people didn't race. 1 person rage quit. Or maybe 1 person... No, the Lambo was definitely in there. He quit. Lambo rage quit when he spun out. The Porsche rage quit when he spun out. Yeah, they were all on the grid. I recognize all the cars. Oh, well. That's what I'm talking about, though. Oh, look. Everybody left. Everybody quit. I join a random lobby, and I win. I can't do that in any other sim. LH and GT3. God, y'all are boring. Like, what is this one? What do we got here? What classes? So bored of GT3s. Why is that the only car that people want to race? All right. Go back over to RaceRoom. Now watch how poorly I drive in this game by comparison to PMR, just from driving PMR. Who's in the community? Don't host anything good. Kratos all practice. A filter by track. RaceRoom Raceway is the most commonly used one. A lot of it's just input and getting used to it, but a lot of it is also the fact that the cars slide around a lot too. But not for nothing. Well, when you say GT, do you mean GT or do you mean GT? And here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with forcing assists on. I don't know why that's such a, like a cardinal sin in sim racing. That you have to race cars in the most authentic way possible. Race. Just race and have fun. M92 on Bathurst. Let's see what's in ranked. Honestly, Captain, I would wait for just honestly updates to the game. I really wouldn't. It sucks to say, but I really wouldn't press too much time into torturing yourself into the game right now, especially with other things that you can do, like other things to play. You know, 70 people registered. Good lordy lord. $70 people. Holy mother of God. Track am I even on right now? Till I know what track I'm on and what I'm doing, I'm going to put the line on. And the sun glare is powerful. So, that garage, car setup, brake. Oh, I meant to tell you too, what I just did there, do that in PMR. Reduce your brake pressure until you stop locking up the front tires. That's a big part of it. Alright, I clearly have to brake early there. Yeah, because once you lock the tires up, you have to come off the brakes. Because you'll just keep sliding. Man. Alright, so the recommended braking zone is not a good place to apply the brakes. In this, anyway. Like, this car doesn't have ABS right now. That's why you'll hear the tires lock up every once in a while when I brake wrong and stuff. And by the way, I have never driven this track or car before, so this is going to be ugly looking. car's got wild amounts of understeer. Back out, though, just in case. Don't want to miss it. Oh, wrong one. Yeah, Group C, Group 5, and GT3 have been pretty good from the start. Minus Group 3, GT3. GT3 was, before the first patch, problematic because their force feedback was broken. But now they're fine. But all the cars still slide, and that's my issue with it. So this race is actually fixed. So I prefer fixed, means no adjustments to the cars, means everybody drives the exact same thing. Doesn't mean I'm going to win, obviously, because everybody's always better, but point is that at least I know we're driving the same car. That tends to bother some people. They want to be able to set up their cars so they have an advantage, and then say it's, you know, there's no advantage to doing that, but then they complain when, you know, they can't do it. BOP is balance of power. I like BOP. Everybody's driving the same thing. What is weird in PMR is the oversteer on gas release in some cars. Correct me if I'm wrong, but in real cars it should not. It depends. If the engine brake, if you are letting out, let's just say you're coming around a turn. Now this is real life I'm talking here, not PMR. If you're coming around a turn at like high RPM and you just come off the throttle, your engine braking so aggressively that you're actually causing the rear tires to lock up a bit, which is causing you to oversteer. That sun glare screws that turn up for me so bad. Screw it, going back. Validated my lap. Son of a bitch. Alright, let's wait out the time limit. Yeah, BOP is what you want to race if you want to be competitive from a driving standpoint. If it's not BOP, you could be potentially racing with a disadvantage. Mechanical disadvantage, of course. So, be wary of that. No, it doesn't. That BOP is not default. You're right. The BOP is what you want. But if you can't, either way, if you like, I mean, my ultimate preference is we're all driving the same car that was given to us by the game. So default setups, fixed setups, whatever you want to call it. BOP essentially is like it'll apply a weight advantage if you have TC, or a weight disadvantage to you. It'll give you, add weight to your car if it has more power or it's got an assist on of some kind, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, the most fun for me is default setups. Let's all get in the exact same car and see who drives the best. Because in real life, you want to see who the fastest driver is or the fastest rider if it's motorcycles. You put them on the exact same motorcycle and have them go ride it, or a car and they go race it. Either way, that's how you do it. You want to find out who the best driver in F1 is? Have them drive the same car around the track. Usually, even if the car is not dialed in to that person's preferred style of driving, the best driver will adapt to whatever the setup is, and they will still go the fastest. If you're building a car to a driver's ability, that doesn't mean that they're the best driver. It means you have the best crew. I've seen that happen time and time and time again, where someone who is not the best driver or best rider wins because they have the best team. Max Verstappen is the undisputed best driver right now. I guarantee you, he could get into almost every single one of those F1 cars and pull the fastest lap inside of 10 laps. Regardless of without changing a thing on any of the cars. That's a good driver. Somehow I qualified 23rd without completing a lap. Okay. What's happening here? Want to hit the gas, buddy? Oof. Wish I knew more about this track in this car. Driving very defensively right now because I don't really know where I'm going. Like actually looking at the map. Jesus. I don't trust this guy behind me when I hit. Okay, good. Move over. Perfect. 'Cause I'm going to be hitting the brakes before you guys, most likely. And that's why. But they don't what? That long sweeper kills me. It's a fun little track. This car's a lot of fun. I wish it had less oversteer, or sorry, less understeer. This is probably a really fun car to drive if you know what you're doing on the suspension side of things. Get it to understeer less. Almost screwed that one up. Come on, there's no reason to completely spin out like that. Unbelievable. All that work. You have to brake early in every one of these turns. I mean, according to the line, that is. The braking zone. I look forward to learning this track a little bit more. Oh, that's annoying. We had 16th, now we're back to 19th. Ranked racing is rough on the psyche. I have yet to develop the mindset for ranked racing. I cannot figure that sweeper out. Seems there's always a battle for turn one, no matter what lap we're on. And if I don't have any overtakes right there, it's tough to get any more the entire lap. And that settles that then. They're just all a little bit faster than me. I have to rely on them making a mistake to do anything with it. That's what I'm talking about with these other sims. Everybody's good. I mean, yeah, people make mistakes and crash and stuff, but for the most part, though, on average, drivers are just better than me. I get into PMR and I win a bunch of races. Oh, don't go that way. What's the name of this track? I wasn't even paying attention when I joined this lobby. Got one lap after this if I want to do anything with this. I think 19th might be my secured position, which is technically still 4 positions better than one I pulled, so... Someone, Crocodile Dundee just got disqualified. Console plebs. True. Poor guys. Although I have the skill set of a console pleb, so... That guy goes so wide every time. I mean, I know I'm going shallow, and that's slowing me down, but he goes a little too wide. D20's closing in. Road America, gotcha. I'll take that. That was bad. Make your move now, buddy. Nope, shutting it down. Good run. Woof. Road America? Alright, so I know Road America is a fun little track to learn. That's fun. Yeah, so far, AMS2, RaceRoom has had the best ranked racing for me in terms of fun versus challenge. Let's see if that hurt me or helped me in the end. Well, that's the last one. It hasn't updated yet. Look at this. You can see how bad I'm doing in this, but at least I'm still having fun. But for the most part, I'm a safe driver. That's my goal here. My goal is to not hit people. And the speed will come in time. But that needs to update. All right, here we go. So I gained 7 positions. Barely got any safety rating. Gained some overall rating, so that's good. At least I went in the right direction for once. 1458. I think 1500 is default. So I've been on the downhill. I peaked in my second race. 1546, and it's been just steady decline. One little bump back up and then steady decline. So yeah. Overall though, this is, in my opinion, this is the game to play on PC. If you're like me. What I am is the casual player who wants to try. I don't want to do endurance racing because I just don't have the kind of time to devote an hour per race. I just don't want to do that. I am competitive, but I'm also a casual, so I'm here to have a good time, but not here to be the best guy. I'm not here to be the next Jan Martinborough. Like or Martinborough. I butchered that name twice. I'm here to just have fun. But I'm also a competitive person, so see if this drives any better than it does in iRacing. This car is pretty awful in iRacing. Just send it down the Nordschleife. What better way to test out a car? Take it down the Nordschleife. Oh, hello. I just neutral dropped it. Start that. I was trying to turn the line back off while racing. Yeah, MX-5 and PMR is pretty solid. These cars already drive way better than in iRace. This is like the worst car in iRacing, the Formula V. It is so understeery though. Look at this. Ah. We're getting there. Oh, shit! I just wanted to cut the grass. Looked a little tall right there. Oh, a little drift action, eh? That would have been a complete and total wipeout in iRacing. Oh, I should make this a round wheel, because this is definitely a round wheel car, as you can see. But I'm already on this wheel, so... These are actually a lot of fun. I hate this car in iRacing. Shocker. Oh, no! Out of my way, buddy. God, RaceRoom is too much fun. I'm telling you guys. If you don't really like the slidey physics of AMS2, but you like AMS2, this is your game. No! Oh, ran out a mile an hour. I probably should upshift it. I might have been able to save it. Alright, see if we can run back him down. Run him back down. That's the English language. Those are the words I was looking for. Right words, wrong order. Oh, okay. Oh. Alright, we're done. We're done, Ski. That's a fun car, though. That is a fun car, though. Let's get in my hyper. Put this one. Car. Give me some sunlight. I'm probably going to get off a few minutes early today. But I will be back on again tonight for more open lobbies. So if you guys are down, and you're on PC, we'll be doing our typical rotation of RaceRoom, PMR, and AMS2. We'll be starting with RaceRoom, though, because, well, what I want to start with. That simple. Brake pressure down. I thought I clicked clear skies. I guess I didn't. We're good. Whoa. All right. Clearly, I'm not in the right frame of mind for that right now. All right. Let's see if there's one more thing we can do before we get off here. Jump back in the MX-5 one more time. Maybe we should. I don't know. Here. Johnny's phone. I don't really know Paul Ricard, so we're going to give it a shot. Set up. Oh, hello. Yeah, it's actually pretty nice. Fun little track. Except when you don't know where you're going. Sorry, buddy. Man, I do not know where I'm going right now. There's so many tracks I haven't raced on, because I have a habit of finding a track that I really like and just spending endless amounts of time on it. Like the Nordschleife, for example. Oh, Jesus, mother... Alright, I have a reset button. You don't. Oh, back in last place. All that work for last. The wrong car to learn a track on. so far out of the groove, not getting back in the groove, don't know the track, nowhere's near the people I'm racing. I'm calling it there, boys. I need a break. I need some lunch. Got some other work I got to do too. So, oh, wrong one. There we go. Anyway, folks. So I'll be back on again tonight, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be doing our typical rotation of RaceRoom, Project Motor Racing, and our good buddy AMS2. Someday I'll get back on iRacing for hosting some lobbies, but I don't know. It's hard to want to play iRacing when RaceRoom exists. RaceRoom is just so much better. But anyway, folks, thank you for the stream. No, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And everybody, thanks for being here. Thanks for the subs. Thanks for the likes. And I'll see you at 11 o'clock tonight. Take care.